do people actually buy things in a funnel? And I don't mean the things in a funnel, but is it a clean funnel that people are actually buying things in? Because I would say the biggest fundamental shift I've had in how I think about marketing in the last year or so has been thinking in terms of systems. And I would say by far it's the thing that's made me better at it. Better at marketing, better at business, better at just thinking of everything as a whole. So yeah, let's talk about it. What's systems theory? How does it fit into the whole marketing world? And why really the modern day funnel is dead? And again, it's not dead. It's not like ClickFunnels is going anywhere nowadays. I know of anyways. ClickFunnels 2.0 launch has been kind of rocky. But what I've noticed over the last couple years as traffic has gotten more and more expensive is that just thinking of things in terms of those linear funnels doesn't work as well. It worked great when you could just pour traffic in, just really fill the top of the funnel up, and then you'd still have something very profitable at the bottom. But as traffic costs rise, as attention is going everywhere, it's almost like this model of a funnel is not evolving with businesses as much. And really, I think the truth of it is that businesses have always been a system, but funnels have been a cheat code or a simpler way of thinking that you can get by with when traffic is cheap, when attention is flowing, when it's easy to buy those eyeballs. And we've seen this throughout history of marketing. Back in the infomercial days, when you'd be able to get those late night spots super cheap, or even when TV advertising just wasn't as expensive as it is nowadays, that was the game. Just get eyes on what you're doing, push, push, push. I just think of Billy Mays and just yelling about OxyClean. And really the whole game is just funneling people. Act now, 1999. Oh, you're getting a second one. And he is just yelling in your face. That was the TV funnel, right? Just getting you to act as urgently as possible. And again, it works, but maybe it still works. I haven't seen those commercials much. Granted, you don't see, I don't sit around and watch TV like I used to do. I don't see what advertisements are floating around. But I look at the things that I buy in my own life, and I can't think of any examples that it's just a traditional funnel. For instance, take my pen for instance, the Studio Neat Mark 1, amazing pen, amazing click. Saw it first on a Facebook ad, clicked, went through. I was like, this thing's awesome. Price point's at $80. I don't know, I can't personally justify buying an $80 pen, but it kept coming up on my Facebook feed time and time again. Never actually ended up buying it. But when Christmas came around, I was like, wait, that would be an awesome gift. I don't know if I can quite justify buying an $80, $90, $100 pen for myself, but for a present, asking for it, maybe. So that's what I did. That's how I have mine. The only pen I use now, literally just refill it every couple months, because that is what I use on all of my writing. But if my grandma got that for me as a present, think of that in terms of a funnel. Saw a Facebook ad, I saw it, I was interacting with our content, looking around, and then none of my email addresses have ever purchased it. Instead, my kind of loving grandmother, who is in her 70s, went straight to the website, spent almost no time on the website, I'm imagining, just enough to add the one I wanted to my cart and check out. How in the world of funnel tracking and optimizing, do you optimize for that? Those are very real situations happening, and you can't optimize for that. And that linear view of funnels, I'm way out here. I'm not even in their customer database. I look like a tire kicker when in reality, I've gotten this one. It looks like I'll be getting one as a present for my dad. So I'm going to be buying one, but then it's not even going to be for me. It's going to be for somebody else. And so he's going to be in the ecosystem now, experiencing the product, but again, never entered the funnel. Another example that comes to mind is there's an amazing restaurant. I struggled to even call it a restaurant. It was an experience. It's called Omakase by Gino. It's down here in Southern California, Santa Ana. Never heard of it. Never knew anything about it. Came up on my TikTok feed one day of somebody going through this experience, and it's basically a 2.5, 3 hour omakase experience where Gino is standing behind the counter preparing each piece by hand. It is incredible. I think it was $250 per person. A little bit pricey. But I had seen this and seen a couple of videos, and I went down a TikTok rabbit hole watching a bunch of TikTok videos of people going there. I was like, wow, this is really cool. Special event came up. Went there with one of my friends for his birthday, and just overall incredible experience. Couple weird things about it though. Is one, I found him on TikTok. Two, I was like, oh, maybe I could go soon, but I actually couldn't go for months and months later because he only releases reservations on for the next month. And times go like that. You have to be logged in on the 10th, just ready for it. Actually, I think it's the 10th or the second Tuesday, or just it's something that if you're not ready for it, if you're not preparing for it, if you don't have it marked on your calendar to hop on there and book a time, chances are you're not getting that reservation. I was able to get one, and it was for like a Thursday evening at 8 o'clock or something like that, and we can get out till super late. Not convenient whatsoever, but overall incredible experience. Cannot say enough. But then it was cool being there, talking to Gino, and come to find out he doesn't even have a TikTok. He uses Instagram a little bit, but really not that much. It's not like he's running ads, and it's just a little hole in the wall in Santa Ana, or if you'd think, no, in Santa Ana, $250 a person there, and it's booked out months in advance. Crazy. But the experience is so good that the business still works. It's not that there's a funnel funneling people in. The experience is so good that he's getting customers literally from TikTok when he's not even on TikTok. Neither of these are using an actual funnel, like a website building platform. Studio kind of was, but let's give an example of an actual funnel. I can think of one time where I saw an advertisement, signed up for a mastermind within 10-15 minutes. And this was actually for Arte, for the mastermind that Ed Milet and Andy Frisella put together. I was scrolling on Instagram, saw a story ad, clicked on it. I was like, oh, didn't know they were opening this up. Signed up right there. Made the jump. It was a larger financial investment for me at the time, but I still made the jump right on there. But the funny part is one, had nothing to do with the sales copy that was on that page. No idea what that was about. And so it looked like a clean funnel where it's like, I clicked the ad, I went to the landing page, I checked out. Simple, right? Funnels work. Except I didn't look at a single thing on the landing page because I was sold years ago. I started following Andy 3, 4, 5 years prior to that, listening to his content, hearing him talk about Arte, and just slowly wanting to become that or join that group one day. I thought it was out of my financial reach. Then things had changed over time, obviously. I'd learned some things, implemented things he had taught me, leveled up, made more money, and then the opportunity opened up, immediately signed up. Was it the funnel did that? Or was a whole system that ended up indoctrinating me over time, and then the opportunity with the funnel came up, and that's when I signed up. So when I'm saying funnels are dead, the actual funnel itself, the actual website going from one page to another, that's not dead. But thinking about a business only in terms of a linear progression, that's just not how it works. People aren't buying like that. Reality, and I'll put up an illustration on screen that'll put this in a little bit more context, is at the center you have your core offer, but there's all these touch points around it. I think of when I signed up for the Modern Marketing System. How this journey went is I was looking for some help of writing a better soap opera sequence, a better initial sequence of people are coming into my world. They had a free training. Sean Twing and Andre Chapron. And they're the ones that really taught me the whole systems theory. It's, again, completely changed my mindset. And they taught me systems theory before I invested a bunch of money with them. So I went to the initial learn from the soap opera. I was like, wow, these guys really know what they're talking about. Moved on from that. Saw that they had this whole long blog post or long educational content on there about systems theory. Devoured that. Went on to another paid traffic course. Again, still free. And I consumed over 2 months all the emails they were sending me. All the soap opera emails they were sending me. countless, they could be counted, but a bunch of their blog articles that were just free trainings on there got so much value. And then they opened up the opportunity to enroll in their programs, because I'd seen their programs on there, but they were all sold separately, and each one of them was $500 plus. And I, with how much value I was getting, I was 100% certain that I was going to be getting those at some point. But I was still consuming so much free content that I was like, all right, we'll hold off on that. Let's get through some of this free stuff first, build a nice foundation. But this opportunity came up where you could invest in the whole course, get all of them for one price. Jumped on it immediately. And that's because all these little touch points away slowly led me to the core offer. All these touch points provided value that pulled me closer to the actual core offer, rather than thinking of pushing somebody down a funnel, just pouring in a bunch of traffic and then just optimizing each step along the way. Because what ends up happening, for instance, you'll look at this funnel view and you'll see that it's converting, it's somewhat profitable, but what if we could get our cost per lead from $20 down to $10? Then we could buy twice as much traffic. We'll make twice as many sales. Everything will just be better, right? Our business will double in size. But then have you done the things where you're asking yourselves, how can we get this cost per lead in half? Then you actually manage to get your cost per lead in half. You add a big red glowing button on there. You add more urgency, more scarcity, really just fluff up the value on the front end. But have you noticed, rarely does it at the bottom of the funnel actually relate to double the output? It's because a lot of the things that you're pushing somebody through a funnel and just really ramping up your scarcity, ramping up your urgency, which again, they're not bad things to use. But when you start just optimizing for one thing, just trying to plug a hole, or it might not even be a problem, but just trying to get something artificially lower, it doesn't actually mean it's better. Like, just because you add more urgency, add more scarcity, people opt in at a higher rate, you get a lower cost per lead, it doesn't mean people's experience is better. It doesn't mean people are more likely to buy. And oftentimes, moving down those paths, and I've done it many, many times, I've spent a lot of money doing this, unfortunately, but chasing that lower cost per lead or that lower CPA can sometimes end up with worse results. Why is that? Is because you're looking at the system as a funnel, as it's one way. It's just, oh, if we fix a constraint here, it'll grow by X amount here. But when we take a step back and actually look at the business as a system as a whole, what you'll end up seeing is, oh, maybe, just maybe, adding a bunch of scarcity, a bunch of urgency, maybe trying to get somebody to buy before they're ready is pushing them away rather than actually leading to more customers. And maybe I'm putting all my effort into this funnel right here, but you find out that this extra value over here, the blog posts that you're creating, that the reviews that are accumulating on your Google My Business, that changing the messaging that resonates with people more, ends up increasing the system as a whole, rather than the things that you'd be doing if you're just trying to optimize a funnel. And so a couple definitions that are brought up in the modern marketing system, and this is from the actual article that I'll see if I can find it. I wasn't able to find it when I was looking the other day, but from the actual training on systems theory, is conventional thinking suggests that businesses and funnels are linear constructs that can and should be optimized step by step, piece by piece. Systems theory, on the other hand, suggests that businesses and funnels are holistic constructs. The results emerge from the relationship and interplay of the various elements. That instead of you having one funnel right here that's funneling them to one offer, one funnel over here funneling them to something else, that all these things are actually working together. And there's a power to that. Because now, instead of trying to optimize a funnel step by step and ending up with worse results on the tail end, what you can be doing is thinking of it as a whole and optimizing for throughput. And throughput is the rate at which your system produces its overall goal. And this is really what the whole idea of systems theory comes down to. Is many times a business, it's how can we get more customers, how can we get more leads, how can we get more, which is great. But have you been in that situation where you got more leads and it did lead to more money? If all the leads were in the same quality, yes. But sometimes, especially when you're trying to push scale, it doesn't end up going that way. So instead asking a question, how can I get more happy customers? How can I get this system to produce more happy customers that want to stay a long time? Now that's a powerful question to be asking. Could you imagine the experience you'd be creating if you knew from the beginning the goal was, I want to like create a relationship with this person? How the marketing would come across different. You're not just talking to them as like, oh, I'm trying to sell you today because I need more. But instead, I'm going to take the time to understand you because I want the system as a whole to perform better. I want every little part to make sure you have the information you need, that you understand what you're getting into, expectations are properly set, and overall creating an experience people want to be part of. Like a brand that comes to mind here is Apple. Everything that they do, is it like pushy marketing to sell more today? Is it some funnel that they're pushing out to the world to sell a bunch of iPhones? You see people, especially back in the day, 10 years ago, you'd see on an iPhone release day, people would be camped out in front of the stores. And it's, what in the world is going on? Because getting that iPhone wasn't just getting an iPhone. It wasn't just you being sold a product, but it was an experience that you're a part of. You were telling your friends, like you were in the in crowd. And that's a powerful thing to be able to capture and put into a business. But if you're just thinking in terms of funnel, like something like that's never created. You're never thinking about the experience. It's just how can we optimize the next step to get more. Instead, if you're delivering that experience, and especially when you're unlocking that word of mouth of people actually starting to, hi bud, about people telling other people about it and bringing other people into your world now, all of a sudden your business is a powerful machine and is performing way better than some funnel would ever be performing. And that's what you see with the biggest brands. Apple, Disney, Taylor Swift, Amazon. Yes, I said Taylor Swift, but that I'll link a video really going into some of the marketing things Taylor does, and it goes so far beyond just her trying to sell a song or trying to sell a concert ticket. Like she creates a whole experience for her audience, and it's really interesting to watch. But again, it's because she's thinking about her brand as a whole and the experience she can give to somebody rather than pushing somebody down a funnel. And so it's a huge, just game-changing shift. Like if you can make this shift, so I'll link that Taylor Swift video down below. Highly recommend that watch. But my question is, what is it that you're optimizing your business for? Is it more leads, more customers, or is it to bring in more of those happy customers, the ones that stay a long time? It's a very powerful distinction, especially when you take that step back and look at what you're actually optimizing this business for. Now, if you like this, let me know. Leave a comment, subscribe, anything like that, and I can start breaking the systems theory down into a whole lot more detail. But I'll talk to you soon.